Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I've been looking forward to this one since we announced it, as for me, IGEL has really started to run away with the thin and zero client market, and it's a staple product for IT departments when dealing with any end user computing project. Right now, not only have we got some great content to be covering off, we've also got a great presenter direct from IGEL themselves. I've had the pleasure of working with this gentleman on a number of occasions and can say outright that this guy's knowledge of IGEL is second to none, and he has passion for IGEL in abundance. So hello to Mr. Gordon Cass.
Hi everybody. Hi, thanks Ashley.
How you doing today, Gordon?
Well, very good, thank you.
Good man, good man. That's what I like to hear. So good stuff. Today you got myself, Ashely Barlow from Axess Systems. I've been here in many different forms over the last 9 years, most recently as a pre-sales consultant focused on the end user computing and digital infrastructure arenas. So I work closely with tech vendors such as Citrix, VMware, Veeam, Microsoft, and of course IGEL. Hopefully a few of you on this webinar recognise me. I can see a few familiar names on the attendees list, and I'll certainly be pestering you for some feedback in the follow-ups once we've wrapped up. Right, you're going to like this bit, Gordon, because I'm going to do a lot of talking about you now. So Gordon is bringing almost 20 years of end-user computing experience to this session today. He spent 12 years out in the field supporting and implementing Citrix, VMware, and Microsoft installations, all the way from the nuts and bolts in the server room to the devices that are on the end-user's desk. From the field, Gordon moved on to Dell Wise, and for the last 4 years has been working in the pre-sales team at IGEL, delivering content in the form of on-site demos, presentations, and proof of concepts. And not only that, Gordon's had the pleasure of representing IGEL at various European events such as IP Expo, Cloud Expo, and IGEL's flagship event called Disrupt. How's that, Gordon? I can see how much you enjoyed it, mate. So before I let Gordon do his thing, I'm going to go through a little bit of an agenda and what we hope this webinar, how we hope this webinar is going to pan out, and a quick review of our IGEL campaign so far. So what we are going to cover off today, well, I say we, mostly Gordon is going to cover off today in the next 35 minutes or so, is going to be a brief history of IGEL, UMS, which we sort of consider the central nervous system of IGEL. If the demo gods are with us, everyone keep your fingers crossed, then we're going to have a quick look at Gordon's UMS lab. We're going to have a look at IGEL Cloud Gateway and enabling the agility of IGEL clients. And we're even going to cover off some of the future of IGEL and some info on what's next for them. And then we'll close off with some next actions and any questions that you guys might have. If you've joined in on the web, then you will have a GoToWebinar control panel where you'll have the opportunity to raise questions. Please do so throughout. Don't be afraid to use it. We'll cover off questions at the end, or we can get back to you one-to-one, whatever works best and whatever permits for the time. What we started a couple of months back was our IGEL campaign. Axess Systems launched our UD Pocket campaign, and we started sending out these minuscule IGEL devices out to those that were willing to sign the life away and fill out a form that's available today in the link on screen. The UD Pocket is a great little device. There's some use cases. I know we're going to cover it off a little bit in some slides later on, but it's certainly going to give you a look and feel of what IGEL can do for your organization. So get in touch with us. I'll send this link out at the end as a post-webinar pack. It's free of charge. We can help you set them up so you can get a feel for how that's either going to make benefit for replacing whatever devices you might be using to log into your existing systems. So I think that's enough from me for now. Anyhow, let's get to the good stuff, and I'm going to hand over to you, Gordon.
Thanks very much, Ashley.
No problem.
Quite a great introduction, my gosh.
You're welcome.
I hope I live up to it. Hi everybody, Gordon Cass, IGEL pre-sales engineer. I'm mainly in the north at the moment, but I have had experience in both London, Scotland, Ireland, and also Wales. little bit of IGEL story, our new tagline, modernized, streamlined, software-defined end-user computing, a bit of history, should we say. IGEL is a German-based software vendor with an international presence, which has grown in the end-user computing space since 2001. With over 17,000 customers globally, we're well known for our industry-leading hardware and software solutions, which have been deployed across organizations in many different verticals. Roots are before 2001, where we were founded in 1989, and in 1993 we were the first worldwide company that introduced a Linux thin client. But we're here to talk about the UMS and Pocket UD along with the IGEL Cloud Gateway. A little bit of overview of the UMS server. IGEL, like the acronyms UMS, I suppose is a little bit better than me constantly saying Universal Management Suite. A little bit of background of historically how this architecture works. You get the UMS server with an embedded database. You have the option to either utilize the server that it's on to manage it, or you can utilize a console which can be installed on another computer and obviously manage the particular endpoints. You can also utilize a web browser to be able to access the management suites. With the embedded database that comes with the installation of UMS, there are some ports that are required. However, you're not stuck to utilizing an embedded database. You can either use an external database, SQL, Oracle. It's completely up to you. There are ports that are required for communication for UMS. Some of them are put on the screen at the moment and just explains to you a little bit about that. Another feature that you can have here for the UMS server is high availability. High availability is designed to address the needs of larger thin client environments in which new settings need to be rolled out to several hundred thin clients at once, or in which the fail-safe rollout of new settings is mission critical for the organizations concerned. The technical implementation is based on the network of several UMS management servers. Our upstream UMS load balancer takes over load distribution and thus ensures that each thin client can receive new settings at any time. Even at the start of a working day when several thousand clients log onto the UMS server simultaneously and search for new configuration profiles or firmware updates. To ensure maximum process reliability and high availability, IGEL also recommends that the UMS load balancer and UMS database have redundancy designs. Another added feature to the UMS is the asset inventory tracker. This is mainly designed for the USB devices or Bluetooth connected devices to your endpoints. Many customers have got, in the healthcare industry, have got computer on wheels, or as they acronym COWs. They have quite expensive USB peripherals. IGEL UMS server can alert a person when one of those are disconnected from an endpoint. To manage devices within the UMS, you would need a profile where there are 40 searchable attributes with over 7,000 control settings. I think we're now at about 7,500, but don't worry, you will never use even half of those when creating a profile. It just shows you the flexibility as well as the granularity that you can manage your devices. UMS is not only a Microsoft installed product, it can be installed on any flavor of Microsoft or for that matter Linux. It's completely up to you. Now if the demo gods will actually allow me, I will show you an overview of UMS.
You're a braver man than me, Gordon, that's for sure.
Okay, so to try and cut time down, I've already opened up my UMS server over here. I've pre-created some profiles. I have one virtual thin client which is available and can be seen over here. I'm just going to show you how easy it is. Each profile is literally based on the look and feel of a device, or for that matter, I would like to be able to access either Microsoft VMware or our Citrix environment. As you can tell, here are all the 7,500 devices. I've added them to particular folders underneath IGEL, and here's my thin client over here. Everything within the UMS console is literally drag and drop. You drag and drop the device over there. Yes, you would like to roll that particular configuration setting out now, and as if by magic, the device, without the fact of a reboot, will actually pick up those settings and allow you to be able to access your Citrix environment. Again, as soon as the device actually connects, you can change the look and feel of it. You can have access to the back-end environment, and if only I'm able to access the internet, I'll be able to access my demo environment, and the gods are not playing nicely. They're out to get us. Again, as you can see over there, I've been able to drag and drop it into a Citrix environment. Likewise, I can access an RDS, or for that matter, a VMware environment. Again, just dragging and dropping that particular thin client over. Yes, I would like to show it, and available straight away is access to our VMware environment. Likewise, if I'd like to drag and drop that over to the RDS, again, nice and simple, roll out. And as if by magic, it just works. As you can tell over here, there's plenty of other options. I'm more than happy to work with Ash and work with you guys to be able to show you and demo this if need be. Back to the presentation. Okay, they were not very kind to us, actually.
I think you worked out by now. That looks great.
The real reason why we're here is all about the Cloud Gateway and Pocket. Now, there's not much that I can explain to you about the Cloud Gateway except give you a couple of use case scenarios. One of the use case scenarios that we have here is for the for office-based home users. Now, traditionally, what you would have had to do is you would have had to send out a PC to a person's home along with a laptop, along with a phone. Whereas if you decide to go for a Pocket and allow that person access to the IGEL Cloud Gateway and manage that over the internet, what you would literally have is a very standardized operating system. There's less support time. Historically, what you would have had to do is your help desk would have to make sure that TeamViewer is installed, or for that matter, it's got some sort of remote access, whereas with the IGEL, it has a built-in shadowing functionality, as well as a standardized operating system. And when it comes down to GDPR, there is no personal data or business data, for that matter, that is actually installed on the endpoint. Also, for instance, security is one of the biggest factors for companies. With the Spectre meltdown issue that recently happened, unfortunately, or fortunate for us, none of our devices were actually affected with that. Another scenario here is for the road warriors. A customer of ours had a general manager was thousands of miles away from his network. His computer decided to blue screen. What he did when he phoned up the help desk is that they just said, remember that little pocket USB that I gave to you a couple of months ago? Turn your computer off, plug that in, boot from that, and the general manager was up and running within a matter of minutes on a computer that has a blue screen of death on it. Another use case is for contractors or consultants. We have a scenario where a company was sending out and issuing laptops and phones to contractors and consultants. And after the contract was finished, very seldom did they actually get that £1,500–1,600 laptop back. Using a Pocket UD, issuing them with a password, they were able to lock that down so that no data actually left their VDI environment. Again, very, very secure on the read-only operating system of IGEL OS. The architecture is pretty simple. Here's the architecture of the typical UMS environment, like we've been over earlier before, with all the ports available. But when you decide to add the Cloud Gateway onto that, it acts as a proxy to the UMS server. Now, what I want to show to you is that the arrows actually do mean something. As you can tell from the UMS server out to the IGEL Cloud Gateway on either the DMZ or the cloud environment, there is only one-way traffic. What happens is that the UMS will push the information to the Cloud Gateway, and devices will pull that directly back from the Cloud Gateway. No information travels back to UMS, so security concerns are usually alleviated there. IGEL lets the UMS also manage devices outside the corporate environment, like we've just had a discussion with home users on road warriors, etc. This year, we're able to now utilize secure shadowing so that those devices can actually be shadowed in a similar help desk scenario. Another new feature that's going to be coming out also this year is the fact that we can now have updates that IGEL will let you upload firmware images to cloud storage, such as the Amazon S3, where UMS will be able to upload those particular images directly, ready for the end user to be able to download. These devices will then be able to be sent a profile and a location of where they can actually download these particular versions of firmware for updating over the internet. If you'd like to get some access to that, there is obviously freely available software to download, our software, and any questions or any information that you need, we do have a KB website as well as videos. And if you utilize Slack, there is the IGEL community on Slack, where we, or Doug Brown, should I say, who runs the Slack community, promotes information sharing, where we actually find some of our customers are helping other customers, especially the new customers that are out there. They want information directly from them. We've also introduced a couple of months ago IGEL OS 11. Security is one of the biggest factors for that. Now, the new solution in security and monitoring pre-boot authentication environment serves as an extension of the BIOS or boot firmware. It guarantees a secure, tamper-proof environment external to the operating system and trusted execution layer. The pre-boot authentication prevents IGEL OS or any other operating system for that matter loading until the user has confirmed their correct password to unlock that particular computer. That trusted layer eliminates the possibility of any of the other millions of lines of code to be compromised in the privacy of the company's data. A little roadmap as well on where IGEL are going. For virtual UMS appliances, we will be utilizing the Docker container formats that are supported by many cloud computing platforms. In the cloud, you'll also want automation. That is why we'll be implementing scripted UMS installations, scripted adding of high availability nodes, and a way to import the cloud provider's SSH public key so their tools can SSH into the UMS container and manage it. This is something that many of our providers have been asking for, to be able to manage multiple customers in a single UMS console. 2019 will also see the first implementation of Web UI for UMS, providing a selection of features. Do not fear, the UMS console Java Fat client will not be going away. It will be supplemented by the Web UI for certain use cases. The Web UI can eliminate long loading times in larger installations by paging and by loading devices listed on demand. Some people actually leave the UMS console running in a VM to avoid lengthy loading of the navigation tree. Additionally, you can use the Web UI to make several UMS installations manageable from a single dashboard. IGEL is also happy to attract more customers with larger installations of 30,000 plus devices or more. We'll be improving handling of these large installations based by UMS. By moving to the Web UI, you can eliminate weaknesses of the UMS console. Of course, there's more to be done, and we have to follow the rules for designing distributed systems. This will take some time and effort, but what we do ask is for you to please bear with us. Thank you very much, Ash. Back over to you.
No, thank you very much. That was really awesome, Gordon. There's a couple of standout things there that I think are really neat, really cool. You obviously know your stuff about IGEL. The couple of bits that I sort of picked out was I think during the demo, as you're going through the profiles, one of the things that I really love about it is how easy it is to sort of find the settings that you've got configured, because it actually changes the color from is it blue to orange?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so that's, you know, it makes it simple to navigate. It really is as simple as you was going through on the screen, dragging and dropping stuff.
Dragging and dropping, that is one of the biggest things. And bearing in mind, within the UMS console, there is not only one way to skin a cat. At the end of the day, you can do the same task in multiple different ways. So it just depends on the way the customer works. They'll be able to use that.
Yeah, well brought up, really. You know, I've recently been working with a lot of customers that we've been sending out the UD pockets to, and they're saying to us, how should we access our environment? Do we want to go down using the, you know, in Citrix case, do we want to use the workspace app that's built into the thin client? Do we want to kind of lock it down into a kiosk mode and use the embedded browser? And it's like, well, there's not one tick box that works for everyone. It's what works best for the user. And the fact that you can, you know, create both profiles, put devices into each of them, whatever works for the user, and it really does sort of make that agility and flexibility. It really does give the user anything that they want to make possible. So it is fantastic. A couple other bits that, again, just to repeat for the sake of it, really, massive statement piece about Spectrum Meltdown. Genuinely, you know, having your users access through an IGEL device such as a UD Pocket or whatever it may be. Users aren't impacted. Users aren't there managing their own device on, you know, rogue Wi-Fi connections that could be putting anything onto that Windows operating system. We're locked down. We're delivering this content from the data center, wherever that may be, in a public cloud, private data center, private cloud. It works really well. It is, you know, considerably a security product, which a lot of people I know struggle to sort of see these vendors, be it IGEL or whoever it is in the end user computer, sort of stepping into that security side.
Exactly,
into the IT industry. So no, some really cool stuff. And my last shout out before I move on to my next bits. I rave about Slack at the best of times, but honestly, that IGEL channel.
It's Doug Brown promoting IGEL. He's been one of the best assets to it. He's very much about information sharing. If any of your customers out there, if they do want to join it, please, I mean, even if you're just going to just look around, just have a look, and the information that can be gathered from there is worth its weight.
I think, yeah, that's kind of how I use it, to be honest. Sort of consider myself a long time lurker of it.
Exactly, yeah. You don't need to be. You can just view the information if you have a question or anything like that.
Yeah.
Quick search functionality is brilliant as well.
And absolutely, and like you say, Doug does a great job of running it. I can't remember how long he's been at IGEL now, but he's a massive end user computing expert he's been around the block, a number of vendors, and he's very community based. He wants the community to succeed, and the channel itself is, you know, daily you get notifications of useful content. So we'll make sure that the URLs that Gordon had up will get sent out in the post webinar pack. But no, that was really good, Gordon. Thank you for going through some of that stuff. So from my point of view, what next for you guys that are listening? As we've already mentioned, we've got the UD pockets where we're sending some out to users on a 90-day evaluation, free of charge. That will get you the look and feel of how to utilize IGEL operating system, how to use UMS. You can even set them up with Cloud Gateway if you want to go that far. And just start using them. That's the best thing that we can do, really. So we'll send out the links, get signed up to them, fill in the form. We'll make sure that those get sent out to you so you can start utilizing the products. The account manager is going to be challenged with booking one-to-ones. So anything that you guys are wanting to bring up further, not necessarily on the webinar today, but you're wanting to do in person or over another webinar that's a little bit more personal and tuned to you guys, we're going to be trying to book those one-to-ones. Make sure you've got a good agenda lined up for us, and we'll follow through with them. Any evaluation units that you're wanting to try, again, call us, talk to us. We can sort those out for you. And I think on the links that Gordon had on the screen previously, go and use it. I'm a big advocate of, you can talk as much as you want about these products, but you're not really going to start to feel the benefit until you start utilizing them. And we're here to help you do that. So please do get in touch with us on that one. So just a quick review of some of Axess Systems capabilities and where we sort of stand in the reseller land. So we can provide consultancy and engineering services. That goes all the way through sort of account management to pre-sales to real life consultants on site. Support services, we've got a team of help desk technicians that go all the way through first line to third line, and they have escalation paths to various vendors into the consultancy team as well. So you can talk to us about support contracts. Something that we're trying to do more of, I suppose it's fair to say, is more of the assessment market. So even if you've not necessarily got a project that you're looking to deliver immediately, what we can do is some sort of like health check or assessment, whether it be a readiness assessment for migrating some infrastructure to the cloud, whether you're wanting to do a digital refresh. If you've got questions about performance, you might be sat there going, oh yeah, my users are complaining about things aren't just quick enough, aren't good enough for us. We can come in and analyze some of that infrastructure for you. And we're doing security assessments, be it end user breakout sessions, which are really quite popular. See how far your users can get if there was to be a malicious user. See how hard it is to get people externally into your systems and things like that. All you've got to do is get in touch with us, really, and we can hopefully be of service to you somewhere within those realms. So questions. I'm not sure whether we've had any come through on the webinar panel. No, Gordon's shaking his head at me. I've kind of got a couple preloaded. I think we've still got a couple of minutes to run through before we start running out of time. So I think I was just going to bring up the IGEL load balancer you mentioned. So for multiple UMS servers in one environment. Correct. You can only load balance with IGEL software, I think I'm right in saying that.
That is correct. It's literally, it would need to be installed from the IGEL UMS software. Okay. Again, everything is available for KB articles on how to do that. The nitty-gritty of it is in the KB articles, and all software is available from the IGEL website.
Perfect. No, I think, yeah, it's not one that I've necessarily thought too much about, I suppose, because you can cache the configuration on devices as well, can't you? So this sort of how far do you want to go with high availability, how far do you want to go with protection and things like that. It's another nail in that coffin. So it's great that it's
what needs to be remembered as well here is that you don't necessarily need your UMS server to be up and running in order for your devices to still work. There is the minute that a profile is loaded onto a device or sent to a device, that device caches that profile. So therefore, even though when it boots up and it checks into the UMS server, all it's doing is asking, is there any new profiles? Is there anything new that I need to download? If not, it'll load up that particular profile. If the UMS server, say for instance, is down for any point in time, then what happens is, because the UMS is not there, it'll take maybe 5 to 7 seconds longer for the device to boot up, but what it'll do is it'll then load the last known good configuration that was last sent out to it.
Brilliant stuff. Well, no, I think that's it's a great half-an-hour webinar. I appreciate your time on that, Gordon, and I think we can probably wrap up now. Perfect. Thanks ever so much, Gordon. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much indeed. You take care.
And thank you for joining in.
Bye bye now.